Hello everyone, welcome to IX Studio Sessions. It's the second episode. I'm Chris, your host for these sessions, together with our co-host, Anthony. How are you doing today, Anthony?
I'm doing great, thank you, Chris.
Awesome. Today we have a very special guest. It's Felix, our founder. Welcome, Felix.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
How
much.
are you doing today?
I'm great. This is a great time.
Founder of the biggest NFT game currently on blockchain. How does that title feel?
I mean, it's earned.
There you go.
It feels good. We have been working hard to reach our current, situation in the market, and it feels good. We are on a good path. So.
Has this, by becoming the biggest NFT game, has this always been the vision?
I would say so. That I've been in the space for a couple of years, and a lot of the games and a lot of the actors in the market operating have great aesthetics and great visions, but they are quite limited in terms of making a massive multi-million user player base on chain game, and that's I think where we really nailed to go after the big market.
And talking about having a multi-million player base, we have insane amount of NFTs in the game, the picks, 1.7 billion NFTs actually.
Yeah.
Share a little bit the initial idea with having that set amount of NFTs.
It's a good question. I mean, it was quite a workload just to map the entire world. We wanted to make a digital rendition, a digital copy of the world. I think we initially wanted to do it, one-to-one, of a meter-wise, but that would put us in, 1.7 trillion picks or NFTs in the game, and that was obviously too much. So we cramped it down. We made the different tiers bigger, percentages to their hexagons, and I think we landed at 1.7 billion, and currently we minted out, or we sold 450, something like that. So we're on a good trajectory of selling out all our picks within the 3-year basis, I think.
And by having these huge amount of NFTs to start with, making the land smaller and smaller, or the world smaller and smaller, because you expand your NFTs to territories. Can you share a little bit about that?
I mean, there's as I said, I touched upon earlier, there's room for growth. I mean, a lot of other players in the market, Decentraland, Sandbox, they have a finite supply of their land lots, and they sold out quite quickly. And currently, if you want to be a new player and building on your lots in these games, some of these land lots are not sold for under a couple of thousands of dollars just to get into the game and start making your own land. As a game developer, that's a lot of money. And to get started with IX, you can start just by farming. You can start by farming your assets and to get going that way. So I think on a long trajectory of 8 to 10 years, we will see all the 1.7 billion picks traded and eventually being minted and traded, but also then developed into emerging territories. So all basically picks will, I would speculate 6 to 7 years, be only territories. And what we do with the territories by then, well, that's the next chapter in our game story. I can also give you a background to the game, because we are quite different from all other games in the market. And I think there was a gap 2 years ago when we started with this. There was a gap. We saw that a lot of other casual gamers, they had nice little figures, they had nice looking animals, you can play them, you can breed them, and etc. But there wasn't really a game that attracted a target group of people who are hustlers, people who wants to make money, who wants to trade. who likes to do poker, who likes this kind of strategy thinking in the market. And hence we thought about, okay, how can we combine the mentality of, you know, being competitive in a fun way, but also building an empire. So taking in game mechanics from Monopoly, taking in game mechanics from all these kind of classical board games, and making it a huge potential with a lot of assets, with, you know, endless supply basically from start that it looks like. Now we know that, you know, already we sold out 40% or 30%, so it goes fast. But that means that, you know, in comparison to other games, you can get started now. It doesn't mean, I mean, like Anthony, one of the biggest whales in our game, you came a long way, but there's still room for new players because there's so many picks left to be handled. And, you know, the rewards mechanisms are dependent on how much trading there is, right? So it all goes back in this nice loop. So it doesn't matter if, you know, well, you already secured a lot of the rewards, there's new rewards coming, and they're coming from the marketplace. So we have built this game on very, very sound tokenomics and for longevity of it. And that's where, you know, I think we are in a very nice position right now to conquer the market and to hold on to this position that we set ourselves into.
I love that, what you're talking about the strategic part of it. That it's just, you take a look at it, it's very, very simple to learn, right? But you can evolve, and it could take years to master, right? And you mentioned the marketplace. We have a lot of transactions. People are actually looking at us now. What are these guys doing? How come they have so many transactions? Tell us a little bit about the marketplace. How can it explode and grow so fast?
I mean, we learned a lot since we launched, and I think it was the first time we built games on chain. And on chain, there's limitations, and we chose the best network to launch on, Polygon, but still we are, you know, topping the gas guzzlers every day now. It's 10 to 15% of the gas fee we are produced by our top 3 contracts, marketplace being one of them, also mission control. But I think, you know, we are coming up to a release of our marketplace 2.0, and I know, Anthony, you've spent you know, thousands of hours. It's crazy.
It's my life.
But hopefully that kind of quality time on the marketplace will be more enhanced now, because we will bundle together transactions. So you will be able to make more faster transactions or more bundled transactions together. So your operating time at the marketplace or at the game will be more efficient. You know, we initially we set out to I mean, a lot of the game development is also doing research, and we understood quite quickly that in order to make IXT, which is, you know, the glue in our game, worth anything, you need to have high utility, and so the marketplace is only dictate with IXT, and hence we have a lot of transactions. Is that we're using this to go back to different kind of staking rewards or rewards splits. So every transaction splits up in different kind of boxes. So some of the fees of one transaction goes back to the marketplace, rewards pool, etc. And this is one part of us having a lot of transactions.
And this will also just increase the different boxes of rewards.
Exactly. So with V2, we going from 2 or 3 to 8, and we will split it up over the different in-game corporations. So there's a lot of new, cool new features being added to the contract. They're both optimized for the users. They're both optimized for gas efficiency, and they're both optimized for the token economy.
And we're moving towards a fully decentralized, eventually, setup. We have the meta share staking with the in-game corporations. We really try to get all the revenue streams back to the ecosystem.
Exactly. There's a learning curve for new users. I know this studio sessions here is about onboarding new users, but there's a learning session of you know, you're talking about DAOs, you're talking about in-game corporations, and essentially what you need to understand is that this game will be all of the rewards, all of the fees generated will go back into different kind of DAOs, and these DAOs will be governed and will be owned by our players itself, and that is the true ownership, or that is the true decentralization that we have envisioned with this game. And it's been taking quite a while to go here, but it's going live now. So
yeah, because we have been talking about it for the last year, and it's actually now it's starting to play out and really start to have effect in the game. I think it's important to mention that that's where we're headed. But like you say, this is supposed to be a more brief introduction for small players. The easiest threshold or the lowest threshold that we have currently in the game is mission control, I would say. Is that per design, or what's the intention with mission control?
I think it's going back to the research. We've been studying Axie Infinity quite well. They started out with the same journey that we did, launched in the 2017 bull market, and they survived for a couple of years, and then they boomed last bull market in 2021. And we have a lot to learn about them. We have a lot to learn about how they build up their mechanics, how they build up on their play-to-earn style, and how they interact with people the right way possible. And I think mission control is just that. It's a way for people to get started with IX, learning about the different assets without actually spending any money, just spending your time. And eventually, when you build up, a portfolio of assets, you can start to trade them. You can start to expand into the marketplace, because in the marketplace is where you can get your picks, and the picks in eventually will generate more IXT. And that's the end goal of it all, to generate as much IXT as possible.
And this is, of course, the play-to-earn element within the game. Has that always been a main driver in the game development, to have this easy, accessible play-to-earn mechanics?
Yes, it's I would say it's a lie to say that it was intentionally designed from day one. It come as we evolved as a group of people, as a team, and as a game, and interacting with our users. But intentionally, yes, that was, we wanted to have a good way for users to get started on a low entry level.
Of course, we always talk about IXT being the glue, and it's the only ERC20 token in the game. The rest of the assets are other type of contracts. Tell us a little bit about that. Why is it like that? What advantages do we have with this current setup compared to other players?
For one, I think we spend a lot of time, understanding how other games have done it and what causes kind of inflation in game assets and in token assets, and we decided to not jump the gun and create several different tokens, just using IXT. And IXT will appreciate in price no matter what. So other assets can inflate and they can deflate based on game mechanics, such as a rover can start to rust. Parts can miss. It's different kind of consumables that makes this game fun, and you need to spend other Astro credits, and there needs to be a dynamic in the different assets, but you can't inflate IXT. So I think it's a combination of having a sound tokenomics for IXT and not adding dramatic inflation in assets, and that's what we spend a lot of time on. And we are currently one of the biggest game in the market, and our token is by market cap only, I'd say, top 500, where there's a lot of other projects out there with 30, 40, 50 times our market cap with 0 users. So I would say, currently our token is super undervalued, but time will tell. You know, we're on the long game. We want to stretch anything. We don't want to
making any promises.
Promises, but you know, it's efficient markets, and at some point it will show.
Yeah. Regarding this though, with time would tell, you know, I'm triggered by action. I'm triggered by people who do what they say they're gonna do. And I love listening to you, and you know I find you brilliant. And this is why I love the company so much. Tell us, the viewers here, what's your vision 1-2 years from now? Where are we? And I want a lot of bragging now, right? I want you to really let them know what you believe, because I've seen it. I hear what the people are talking about in the office. Please let people know. What do you think?
I think, you know, from a company perspective, I think we've outgrown this new office. I think we are on several different global offices around the world, serving user bases primarily from Asia, in China, Vietnam, Korea, because that's where we really grow right now, and we need a strong presence there. From a game perspective, you know, I'd say we are on a strong trajectory of selling out within 3 years, I would say. So that would mean that we have approximately 500,000 users, active users on a daily basis, and with that kind of influx on users, that will also affect the price. So there will be, I think, you know, it will be more rapidly. We will increase the amount of in-game corporations. We will swallow other game developers. We will swallow other game studios into our game, and it will be a lot of new. It will be a metaverse for metaverses.
I love it.
For eventually, I think that is, you know, opening up for APIs, opening up for mods to build their own in-game corporations and offering services to our strong and growing user base. Yeah. That is the vision. And we are in a really good position to get us there.
This is what I want the people watching to understand, that we're actually the front runners.
Yes.
You're not making the mistakes that our predecessors have done. We're learning from that, and we're just evolving. We're doing it better, everything better and better. And this is, I think, this is a recipe for success. So I love it.
So, on a final note, what's the next step? What can people? We have a cargo drop upcoming, just within a couple of weeks. We will talk more about that in another episode. But what's the next? What's the what do you call it? The closest future. What do we have in store?
I mean, there's a lot of new releases coming out this spring. We have the cargo drop. It's a great entry point for new users. We have, you know, a quite low token price. It's a great entry price for speculators and for investors. So I think there's room to get started, because when you have skin in the game, you start to lean in and you start to get good and you start to earn money. And that's what we're all about: playing the game and earning money. That's what we all want to do.
Okay. On that note, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Felix.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.